Hey everybody, I'm Adam,
I'm Michael.
and today we're going to keep this Game of Thrones train rolling with The Long Night, because we're bored in Ohio. I'm tired.
You look tired. That's what I get for making you record early. You haven't had enough of your
Maybe
coffee yet.
this episode had just taken that much out of me that I'm still feeling it 2 days later.
I've seen it twice.
Have you? Well, did Claire not watch it the first night?
She doesn't watch the night. She's always too tired.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I watched it last night again.
So there's not really a whole lot to say story-wise with this because the episode is just a giant fucking battle.
Yeah.
So there's not really a lot of setup we need to do. There was a big fight, and some people died, and then it ended.
And then, yeah.
That's the gist.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the who and the how and the why that we'll be interested in. Do we want to go chronologically?
Sure.
Well, first, did you like the episode?
I like the episode. I have a few complaints, but overall I liked it.
Now, since you've watched it twice, did you like it better the second time or about the same?
Oddly enough, it went faster the second time I watched it.
Interesting.
And I thought it would go slower since I know everything that's happening, and I know the beats because I've already seen it through once. But no, it was actually faster.
Maybe because you'd already seen it the first time you're watching through, you're kind of intense
Locked in,
on it,
yeah.
like locked in, like waiting to see who dies or whatever happens.
Yeah.
That it feels like you're a while getting to those points, and the second time since it's already done, you were able to just sit back and kind of enjoy it.
Yeah. I thought they did a good job of making the episode intense. Even when I watched it the second time, I still felt tension, even though I knew
Right.
all the outcomes,
Yeah. I really liked it too. A lot of things didn't go the way I thought they were going to, and I had to reconcile with some of that.
I'm
But
interested to know what you mean.
sure. Okay.
Don't tell
Okay.
me.
Yeah. So you were right about a lot of stuff. We'll get to the big thing you were right about, so you can jerk yourself off toward the end.
Can I do it underneath the table?
No, well, they'll never know. You probably didn't watch that thing I sent you and Kyle, did you?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting that they shot this like 3 different kind of genre films.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was
Suspense, then horror, then action.
Yeah, it didn't click until they said it. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, yeah.
Well, the Arya stuff, I was like, definitely, this is shot like a horror film.
It definitely was, yeah.
And they did all because they know if it was just a high energy battle, you'd get worn out and kind of bored. And honestly, I kind of felt not bored, but exhausted.
Yeah.
At certain points, I was like, man, because it was such intensity and suspense for so long. The Kara had to go do something real quick, so I had to pause it. And I was like, fuck, I almost feel out of breath.
Yeah.
It was done that well, I think.
I got to the point because of so much battling that for so long that I kept thinking to myself, these people be falling over right now with how many of these zombified undead
They've had to
keep
kill.
just coming, and they're just swinging.
Well, I think they all can take a couple days off after that.
I bet they filled all 3 of their rings on their Apple Watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they did. And then some.
And so
A lot of people, I saw on the internet, were complaining about the lighting of the episode, and I want to tell those people right away to go fuck themselves.
I did have that is part of my issue. Now it's not as I don't have as big of an issue.
So I'm telling you to go fuck yourself?
Not completely.
So I get from a viewer standpoint, like some things were hard to see. Boo fucking who.
Yeah. And it's
It
called The Long
was,
Night.
it's at night.
Yeah.
And the White Walkers have a strategic thing that they can do while bringing in basically a storm
Yeah.
that helps their odds.
They had to do that anyway because if Danny and John were able to see all of them the whole time, they would just
yeah.
light them up with the dragon fire and shit. So
Yeah, the whole time.
yeah.
They would have known exactly where the captains were. It just went white right for them. Game over. Done.
Yeah. During the whole battling, though, the one thing that I wish there weren't so many up close, quick shots of stab, stab, switch, 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 hit, cut. It was just so many of them that it was hard for me to. I was behind. Like I was a little bit behind on who was fighting just now, and okay, that they didn't die. All right, let's keep going. And I just wish there was a little bit fewer of those because there was just so many of them. And I wish the whole dragon flying fighting scene was a little more when they're above the clouds, so I could.
So you could see it.
Yeah, because there was some of the. I mean, it took me the second time. Like I realized. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but for a reason. When John's down there with just the White Walker dragon, and his face was ripped off.
Yeah.
And so the first time I watched it through, I didn't realize he got part of his jaw ripped until he was there, and I'm like, oh, he must have got part of his jaw ripped. Now when I watched it the second time,
You actually saw it happen.
I had to really concentrate to see which dragon was doing what. Because everything was so entangled and so close. Yeah. I just wish a little more back off just so I could see just a little bit more so I knew who was doing what.
Right.
But,
yeah. Good call about the above the clouds thing because that was, in general, that was just a really sexy shot.
It was. Yeah.
I was like, that looks like a fucking painting.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
But, I mean, that's a problem with a lot of these, like, medieval type war scenes where everyone's kind of dressed the same and it's usually kind of one color palette, like really muddy, or like in this case, since it was night, everything was kind of gray or blue, and it's hard to discern what's what.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I get your qualms about that, but I think it also adds to the chaoticness of the fight that was at hand.
Yeah.
At least,
no, I agree. Yeah.
At least the good guys had versions that they had first go through the Dothraki, then the Knights, then the Unsullied.
Yeah.
And they all have a like distinct look. But going back to that, since like when the fight starts and Melisandre shows up, that was kind of like she's kind of like Gandalf, like coming in and like
she was, yeah.
I can help you out.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to fuck anybody this time. Can you imagine that? If there was a show to do it, it would have been Game of Thrones to have a fuck break right before
You're right.
before a battle. And then she like, yeah, put your sticks up. I'm gonna touch your sticks. And then she lights them up, and you're like, oh, sweet, fuck yeah. And they ride off. This kind of upset me a little bit, but I get they had to show the just insurmountable thing they were up against, because I was like, the Dothraki are going to be fucking baller.
I thought it was clever.
No, they were not.
Yeah.
They rode out. I mean, we had seen them ride against the Lannisters, and they just decimated.
Yeah.
They ran out there with their fucking flaming swords, and they all just, you saw all the lights going out. Yeah. All the lights going out, and then, Dothraki were like running back like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I do not like what I just had to do.
Yeah, so I kind of, I mean, I agree with you. I had mixed feelings about it. Like, one, I wanted to see a little bit of them trying to see what they could actually do with their flaming swords on their horseback, But at the same time, I liked the cleverness of, okay, let's do it this way. And just little by little, you just see all those flames go out. I liked that. Yeah. So it's kind of a 50-50 with me on that.
And then when the army finally got to the front lines, the whites,
yeah,
it looked almost like a wave of water, like crashing, against them, which I thought was really cool.
It was really cool,
and kind of fucked up. Yeah, So yeah, the fight is basically just think of it like in Die Hard, the guy who's like breaking through the vault.
Yeah.
He had these layers to get through until he got to the vault.
Yeah.
That's what the White Walkers were doing. They were that guy from Die Hard. Slow but sure.
Yeah.
Would he get through each wall of security? So they got through the Knights. The Knights had to retreat. Then the Unsullied were basically the last line of defense to let everyone else get in
Yeah.
back into the castle. And Grey Worm, that's the first Grey Worm like looked kind of bewildered and scared.
Yes.
But of course, you know, they get that stuff going on, but then Danny and John couldn't see the signal to light the pit.
Yeah.
So Melisandre had to come put her hands on another stick. Why is everything so like phallic with her? Put your stick up. I'm gonna light it on fire. I'm gonna get you hot.
What'd you think about? I mean, I think it fits his character. Don't get me wrong, and it fits how the Unsullied would be. That Grey Worm, you know, he had only a hesitancy of about a second on whether to massacre all the Unsullied and leave them on the other side of the pit, you know, where the trench was, or not. He just left, you know, I'm saying like he left his entire army on the other side of that thing, then dropped the thing down, knowing that they were all going to die. I mean, I don't...
Do I think his only slight hesitation was out of character, or...
Yeah, for some reason I felt like a little bit like he would have more of a... And I know they're not supposed to think that way, right? I mean, they're not trained to think that way, but these were all of his brothers,
right,
so to speak. And it was just a hesitancy of like a second. He just kind of looked back, and then just pulled it and said, fuck it, I'm just... And there was quite a few of them left.
Yeah.
You know, and then just leaves them all to get wiped out.
I think the fact that he had any hesitation at all actually shows growth in his character.
I guess that's a good point.
His relationship with Missandei is making him a little more...
Weak, I agree.
Not weak, you fucker. Not weak, but a little more human. Like, he's had his humanity taken away. Did you just mute yourself?
I had a sniffle. I didn't want to do that.
You're going to hear it in mine. It doesn't fucking matter.
Can you just go on about his character?
You know what? Just do it over there.
snort one over there.
So I think that shows him regaining some of his humanity, even just for a split second, maybe. Or it could just be, maybe it is. Maybe he did feel like a second in brothership, and he's like, well, you know, everyone's going to die anyway, so let's get our best shot.
Before we move past this, you remember that the Red Woman said to Grey Worm before the battle started, right?
Valo Morghulis or whatever.
Yeah, which was what Arya had to say to the captain to get him to take her to Bravos to the temple. No,
she gave him the coin.
Yes, but I'm saying that's what he was supposed to say for him to take her. So
that's a common...
Why do you think they called that out?
Well, that's a phrase. I mean, many people have said that throughout the series. I can't remember what it means.
I don't remember anybody else that said it.
Well, not Missandei, but the Red Woman said it plenty, I think. I feel like she said it multiple times.
Why do you think she said it to Grey Worm? They don't do little things for no reason like that.
Well, maybe, I don't know, was that...
Ethan has a theory.
Okay.
I completely blew it out of shit.
Do we want to talk theories yet?
No.
Or do we want to get through the episode first?
Well, just because it has to deal with that specific thing.
Sure. Lay it on me. What does that boy think?
He thinks that because they took that moment between the two of them, and he knew the reply, that he was from Bravos, and he was one of the
faceless
Arya,
men.
Faceless men. And I go, no.
No.
That's too big of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
That's too big of a stretch.
Way too big of a twist for this point in
Yeah. There's 3 episodes left.
Yeah. It's okay. So they break up the battle by showing the people down in the crypts. In that featurette that I sent you, even Peter Dinklage is like, why the fuck do
Yeah.
they put the women and the elderly and children in the crypts with a bunch of dead people? We know the dude can raise dead people. Why was nobody smart enough to realize that?
Yeah.
Um,
And he's like, I guess Tyrion. I know Tyrion's smart, but I guess he's not that smart.
yeah, no shit. So I mean, they broke up like showing that, and they could hear like as the fight progressed and the whites got within the walls, you could hear the whites above them and some of the carnage that is going on. And they also broke it up by following Arya when she has to retreat into the castle after receiving a blow to the head that had her pretty disoriented. And it looked like it kind of like knocked her confidence out for a second. She seemed way more scared than we've seen her in a long time. And they had that quiet place library scene.
I like that whole scene.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Did you know, like, the real tall, skinny... Well, you might have, like, because you watched the featurette, is the dude who played Mama.
Yeah.
That fucking creepy
That
son
creepy,
of a bitch.
Yeah.
Good for him that he's found his niche.
Yeah. He is, man. He's got his movements and everything.
He's like triple jointed. He's fucked up.
Yeah.
But good for him.
Yeah.
He got on Game of Thrones. So that was kind of a fun, creepy scene. And then we see the Hound was like having PTSD about the Battle of Blackwater. He's like, we're fucked. We're fucked. Why even fight? We're fucked.
Yeah.
And then Beric Dondarrion's like, well, tell her that, you son of a bitch. Yeah. And then they finally found her after like she's running through the corridors.
I did love that they showed how much the Hound, like the look on his face,
how much he cares,
for her. Yeah.
And so they get her out of a situation, and Beric Dondarrion goes down. But he was in the first death. Yeah, Ed from the wall, I think, died first.
That was just a weird death, because it was a weird cut. Because first of all, he's being crucified. And then while he's being crucified in the hall, it was just a bad edit cut, because you could see how far ahead the Hound and Arya were from him. And then cut is
he's like right with them.
He's right with them coming through that door. And I'm like, well, how did he get past the four guys that are stabbing him in the back over and over again?
Right. So I don't know if they did that to be a crucifix symbol, or if that was just him
trying to holding it back. Yes, but I'm just saying it just looked like it because the way that they panned back.
Yeah, you can't show someone in that making that shape and not have people think, oh, he's doing a crucifix type thing.
He's sacrificing himself for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get out, and this is where plot starts circling back around. Melisandre's in this fucking room. This bitch is nuts. She's there when you want to light up a stick, or she's just hanging out in a room.
Yeah, hanging in a room.
And she sees Arya, and basically was like, did a callback to season 3.
Yeah,
where she had told her that she was gonna put out a lot of eyes for forever, including blue ones. Which at first, because that lady has blue eyes, I was like, she's gonna kill that bitch. That was like, Melisandre's like, knew she was gonna die that day or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, you're gonna be the one. But then Arya runs off, and I was like, oh, wait. And then we find out, the whole reason Beric's been brought back many times was so that he would be there to help save Arya. So Arya has some big, grander thing in the Lord of Lights thing, but we find out at the end why.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
An hour and a half later.
And like so much longer. So...
But I did like I thought the pacing was done really well. Like,
yes.
When they were jumping with all these characters that they had, the little jumps to here, they gave you just a little bit of time with each one. I thought it was really well paced.
I want to wrap up this summary so we can get to like what we didn't like in theories. So Dany and Jon have been in the skies on their dragons the whole time, trying to help light it up and everything. They tried to find the captains, but that snowstorm doesn't allow them to see where they are. And when they finally encounter the Night King, after Bran, through Bran is the reason we saw the Night King the first time, because he wargs into a bunch of ravens. The ravens fly up and he finds the Night King, which was a cool shot. But I have no idea what the fuck Bran was doing this whole episode. We'll get to that though.
You know what would have been cool? Because he's right. That was my thing. You have no idea what the fuck he was doing. What would have been cool is if he's got all these ravens flying, and the whole reason that they go and they find the Night King, and then those ravens, if there were
Like they're
so
actually-
many, they're clearing the mistway a bit so that Jon was able to then see the Night King.
Have it be that Bran's actually helping in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, they find the Night King. There's dragon midair battle ensues, and Jon ends up going down. Rhaegal has to do a little crash landing, which I assume Rhaegal's still alive.
They usually, anything that's important, they usually show its death.
Mm-hmm. And not before taking down.
No, he's got to be. He's got to be still alive, because the Night King raised the dead. After that, he would have raised that dragon.
That's true.
That's true. Okay.
But yeah, Jon also like took down the Night King to the ground, not taking him out, because Rhaegal just was like ripping Viserion apart, like you said before, ripped off half his face.
Yeah.
So now they're both on the ground, and Jon's in pursuit of the Night King. Dany, for whatever reason, lands Drogon.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
And she's like, "You got this, bro." Because Jon's like, "I gotta go help Bran sit." Sorry. Bran's character bothers me. And then while she's landed, of course, whites jump on Drogon. And Drogon's like a fucking cat that got a piece of tape stuck to its fur, like freaking the fuck out. And so Dany like falls off the dragon, and Drogon flies, and he's shaking these stupid.
I like that shot though.
It was cool.
That was cool.
He's shaking all the fucking whites off of him, and then Jorah comes out of nowhere to help save his queen, which
Oh, he had to do it.
he had to do it. The fact that he just kind of pops up out of nowhere.
You want
I
a one
usually
quick shot?
kind of hate that.
Yeah.
At least like show him tracking, like when they show him in the castle, like show him tracking where she is, or like noticing the dragon or something.
Yeah.
To lead me to that. When they do the convenient pop up save thing, I always hate that in like all movies. That's why when Melisandre showed up, I was like, this seems very convenient that she would just show up right now. But I can give that one a little bit of a break because she's a fucking witch and she knows shit. Jorah like would have had like, and we had enough trouble seeing ourselves, would have had to see Dany, but I guess she was riding a dragon, and then get to her that quickly. But
Well, she did just light up the ground to save Jon.
That's true.
Maybe that was his beacon of light.
Could be.
And then he's thinking to himself, why the fuck did you just land that dragon?
Yeah. Why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
So he's protecting her while they're getting attacked. Jon is running after the night. Well, actually, I forgot this part. She had lit up the ground because she Dracarys'd the Night King, who apparently cannot be killed by fire, and he actually fucking smiled at her and tried to like fucking do his Olympic throw again.
Yeah.
But missed this time.
It's because he didn't line that hand up.
He's not getting the gold.
Yeah, he didn't.
He had to line that hand up.
So stupid.
Which we'll get to something with that later. So Jorah's protecting Dany. And this is the part where it has its shift, and that they do like the somber music, and they start going into slow motion when the Night King, because the Night King raises the dead, and that raises people in the crypts, and all the people in the crypts are like, fuck. So all like women and children start getting eaten on the fucking ground, and Jon is just surrounded by a bunch of dead people.
There were too many people for him to be surrounded by.
Have to backtrack again. Best death, Lyanna Mormont.
Oh, that was badass.
Taking out that fucking giant little badass, the little lady bear.
Yeah.
Proved that she was a badass motherfucker, and she took down that giant.
Yeah.
fast forward again. And so Night King finds Bran where Theon has just been demolishing everything that's come at him. They really gave that character a fucking send-off, man. They made him like, he had a fucking goal and he fucking achieved it. There were so many dead bodies around him. And he had that moment with Bran, and Bran told me he was a good man. And earlier he'd said, I'm like, you're where you belong, you're home.
I just wish the staff run would have been half as long as it was. It was too.
I wish before he started to run,
Yeah.
The Night King spoke and said, for when you die, it is without honor.
That would have been great.
Little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles call out there, guys. A few of you might know. So yeah, Theon gave it his all and died, but he did his part. Music super somber. All of our heroes are backed up on walls, literally, with everything around them, still somehow alive. And fucking Sam's been on the ground just stabbing people and crying.
Dude, it was just little stabby.
Little stabbies and then crying.
He's such a bitch.
And
he drives me crazy.
And then, Brienne and Jaime are up against the wall just fucking hacking and just surrounding
With Podrick.
Tormund's on top, and Pod's up there. And fucking Tormund's on a mound of dead bodies just axing the fuck out of anybody around them.
With Arya's love slave.
Yeah, Gendry. So, in that somber music and fucking Night King's approaching Bran, and you're like, well, this looks pretty fucked. Bran, at this point, like, once the Night King came in, stopped doing whatever the fuck he was doing, because he was warging the whole time, or I don't know what he was doing the whole time. And he's weird Bran about everything, just kind of like staring at things. He looks at the Night King like, meh. What's up, bud? It's good to see you. But I guess you could assume he knew what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Especially considering things that we'll get into afterwards. And as the Night King approaches Bran, and Jon can't get there because the half-face Viserion is blocking the entryway to, I don't even know what the fuck they call it here. I'm just going to call it a courtyard.
Sure.
Night King's about to kill Bran, and out of nowhere, our little, like, flying squirrel of a hero, Arya, comes jumping out of nowhere. And Night King just turns around, fucking snatches her right out of the air. And she does the old switcheroo, which she had done previously.
Yeah.
And her little sparring match against Brienne. Dropped her dagger, stabbed him. Ice King dies. The entire zombie nation has fallen.
Got a question for you.
Yes.
Where's Sansa?
Sansa's in the crypt.
When did you see her again? So after Tyrion, they look at each other, which, by the way, made it look like she was going to commit suicide.
Yes.
She took that knife out. They look at each other. He kisses her hand, and then he goes to leave, and he leaves her. You don't see her again.
She wasn't with him?
No, she was behind that thing, and you don't see her again the rest of the episode, which I thought was odd.
She didn't kill herself.
That's what I'm thinking. There's no way that they
There's
showed.
no way. That would be it.
But I thought it was weird they didn't show her again. Just because they show it everyone else. Everyone else is shown.
Man, did they show her in the trailer?
Oh, I never watched the trailer for the next one. I don't
remember. So they might have. Okay, so that's the rundown. Yeah. We probably spent way too long on the rundown.
It was a lot.
It was a very, very long. It's the longest Game of Thrones episode yet, I believe.
The battles and the swarms were pretty stellar.
Okay, tell me your issues.
My issues were like I said, it was a little. I wish I could have seen a little bit more when the dragons there was a lot of flying around in the snow mist fog shit, and I was like, cut down about half of those. I mean, I get it. They can't see shit. Quit showing it over and over and over again that they can't see shit. And I wish I'd been able to tell a little bit more who was who when the dragons were battling with each other. My major freaking thing was there was not enough knowns that should have died during that battle. They were outnumbered.
Not nearly the amount of people died that I thought were going to die. And we forgot to mention Jorah did die, saving Dany.
But I mean, honestly, there's too many people that are beloved characters that it's just not fathomable that they're still alive after that many.
That's one of my problems, one of my nitpicks, is whenever they show these insurmountable odds and these characters are still alive, they're backed up on a wall and they're just going to town, still doing, it almost gives them superhero status.
Yeah.
And for what's to come, since the whites were not the big bad, like I always thought the White Walkers were going to be something that was going to have to be faced by everybody, which is why I originally thought that everyone at Winterfell was going to have to retreat and Cersei was going to have to come into play with this battle against the dead.
Yeah.
That didn't play out. But they did show our characters just doing like almost the unbelievable. Yeah. So when they progress and they have to have this next war with Cersei, how is that anywhere near a challenge considering what they went through?
Yeah, it should be just like 7 of them taking on a whole army of 20,000 and just killing them all.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we were to take a wild guess at how many people, let's just say Brienne, how many whites Brienne killed.
Yeah.
Considering the length of the battle.
From the beginning. Yeah, she was out there at the beginning.
She had to kill at least 200.
Yeah.
And that's insane. But I will forgive it, that kind of nitpick, because...
Well, they're using the dragon glass stuff. They only really need to hit them... Actually, they pretty much only need to hit them once.
True.
So I'll give them...
Well, she was using Valyrian steel, so
right.
She's good anyway.
Yeah.
But still, just the numbers and being swarmed like that.
Yeah, that's what bothered me.
That's swarms. Like my only thing is like, yeah, when you give your character superhero status and they still have another thing to go through, it makes... I don't know how you're going to make that thing feel as threatening as what they just went through.
Right. I agree.
Because basically all the characters could have died. Probably logically should have died.
Yes. Yeah.
In this episode. But that's fine. That's a nitpick. I think they also want to show our characters being badasses, and I get that too. And in many cases, I really like that.
Yeah, except for Sam's little pansy ass laying on the ground crying with the little stabbies. I mean, I'm never going to get that out of my head. Him just laying on a pile of...
his character so well, though.
It did, but I want somebody to pick him up and just slap the shit out of him.
Well, did you like how when Jon was on his mission,
he just left him? Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What else?
That I had an issue with? Or just what else?
If you had any more issues. Mike called the ending, and he's been trying to make me give him hand jobs ever since to acknowledge his great theories and shit. How did you feel about Arya being the one?
Because of the way that they did it, they made you feel, honest to God, I did forget about her. What the way that they paced and jumped around, and you expected that Dany was going to get there and help, or at least try and die, or Jon was going to get there and help and try and die, but they were all blocked off, and I forgot about Arya. I did, and it was a great surprise. Now I kind of feel like, just like Kit Harington said, "Fuck this! I should have kill him." I did feel like Jon was destined to do it, but I loved the idea that it was Arya that came through to do it.
What I think that was done really well is if you go back for another rewatch, I know you already rewatched, they been telegraphing this since season 1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With her dancing instructor, like that motto. What do we say to the god of death? Not today.
Yeah.
And that's Night King is essentially the god of death.
Yeah.
And then the whole Melisandre thing with the eyes, and then Bran gave her that fucking dagger last season.
Yeah.
So it's like Bran knew that she was going to need it. And Melisandre's known since season 3, apparently, that what Arya was. Although, I can't remember, where was Stannis? When did Stannis die?
That was season 4.
Because people are saying, like, this basically confirms that Arya is the Azor Ahai character, which I
don't agree with.
I don't necessarily agree with, because if she was, and Melisandre came to this conclusion when she saw Arya again, because Melisandre thought that Stannis was Azor.
Right.
So I'd have to go back and see when she actually spoke.
That she almost thought that Jon, the way that she was portraying him was then, and then, but it wouldn't make any sense, because she never made a suggestion at all ever that Arya was that. But it doesn't matter. Jon could still be technically him, and this is just one of the people that was in his army that was doing his battle. Like, it's still his battle against the Night King and all that stuff, and he just wasn't the one to make the final blow.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It is.
Yeah.
And then that weird, but she had to die, Melisandre.
When she walked out?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if, like,
I think it's because she fulfilled her prophecy, so she had to.
So she had to die.
She had to die. Yeah.
She had to take off her necklace and become her old
wrinkly
ass.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't show the front end at the end. God.
I gotta say, where the fuck is Ghost?
Where the fuck is? I watched it again.
They showed him on the front lines for like maybe 10 seconds.
When Kyle and you the three of us were talking, and I forget, it was either, I think it was you or Kyle. I was like, "Where the fuck is Ghost?"
Yeah.
I watched again. I looked for any. I was concentrating. Do I see a little? No. Nothing. Just gone.
I get it that they've never really done that big dog thing well. I don't care. I want Ghost around.
Yeah.
It's part of the Starks. Yeah. It fucking pisses me off that he's not fucking there.
Right, yeah.
I hope he's not dead. I hope he comes back and they show him for another 10 seconds.
Well, Arya's wolf is still alive somewhere in the woods, right?
Yeah.
So
she has her own pack.
Not that she needs it anymore. She's a little badass.
I think it'd be cool if the pack showed up anyway.
I agree.
At some point.
That'd be sweet.
I'm looking over my notes. I said, I got here. So the Lord of Light seems legit.
Yeah, so that he okayed some shadow babies and shit, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. So the thing about the Night King not getting burned, I guess they're chalking this up to you had to stab him where he was originally created as the Night King.
Yeah.
Which I was like, really? Like all the other ones are fucking affected by fire.
Yeah.
That made me think he was potentially a Targaryen, like an ancestor of the Targaryens. But I don't know. The stab him right where he was created thing. I don't know how I felt about that.
Then how did Arya know to stab him there?
Right.
But she was just maybe right at the right angle because her little body and...
Yeah. Yeah, because I said, is he immune to that just because he's like the OG White Walker? Like he's the original gangster? Like,
it could be.
Like, and that's why he smiled. He's like, motherfucker, I'm the real deal. I don't have to use words.
What the fuck was Varys doing the whole time anyway?
Varys?
Yeah, he didn't have a single line that whole fucking show. They just would show him every now and then doing a look of frightened, a look of that's weird or...
Right. I guess they had nothing for him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they just had a couple nice moments with Sansa and Tyrion.
Yeah. Those were nice moments. I agree.
I assume Gilly and Little Sam are still alive. I can't imagine they would have killed them off screen. I really want to know what the fuck Bran was doing all episode, because he warged into the Ravens and then he was in that warg state the entire battle and didn't come out of it until the Night King and all of his captains
To
had
tell
surrounded.
Theon to go kill himself. Yeah.
Yeah, to thank Theon and say, "You're a good man, bud. You did your part." But what the fuck was he doing?
Dude, how much you want to bet they never even explain it?
I don't think they will. It's like, I kind of wanted more backstory to the Night King. The Night King seemed like this big, pumped up character, and then to just have him offed without knowing any more. I guess the only importance that he had was his motivation of wiping out all humanity and creating the permanent night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems kind of boring.
Yeah, kind of. Which I guess makes sense as to why he's not the main villain and Cersei is. Yeah. Cersei is a much more interesting character, has way more going on, crazy ass motivations and shit. So I guess it makes sense that he's not actually the big bad. But that, I know, like, Martin likes to switch things up. Like, I mean, they hyped up the White Walkers since season 1, and then they're defeated with half a season to go.
And like 20 people left alive.
Yeah. So that must be the purpose, because they needed to dwindle the North's armies to make Cersei even seem like any kind of challenge.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even like Danny said before, she could go in there with her 2 dragons, just fucking lay waste to everything.
Yeah.
But Tyrion's like, yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not a good first impression for the people you hope to rule.
Yeah.
Good point. So they had to dwindle this army to make Cersei seem formidable, which to me is a little bit of a letdown, but it was done so well that I don't care that much. Yeah. And honestly, I know I'm going to be way more invested in the fight against Cersei than the fight against the White Walkers.
Yeah, it makes you give a shit even more that she gets defeated because she didn't help at all, which could have wiped out everything. And these remaining people deserve, which R.R. Martin usually doesn't give you anything you deserve, so it's still, I'm sticking by, man. I'm sticking by who's going to be on that throne.
Wait, who did you say was going to be on the throne? Gendry?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong on that one. I think you can go fuck yourself with that one.
Winterfell.
I know you got Winterfell. Fuck off.
I told you Stark zombies too.
Yeah, but missed opportunity. I wanted to see a slightly decayed Rickon.
I did too.
Running out like fucking eating people. Because they brought him back to literally run a straight line instead of fucking zigzag. Always serpentine, bro. Always serpentine. This is a minor nitpick. Interior scenes were so quiet with all that shit going on outside.
Yeah.
I understand from a filmmaking's perspective, like they did a whole tonal shift and they wanted you to be in a horror moment and it worked out really well. But a part of me in the back of my mind was like, I thought, is everybody outside dead? It's fucking quiet.
I almost wish they would have shown Arya, just like you hear like all the loudest going on. She knows that she's in this room and she's got to get through quietly, and they just kind of see her close her eyes to calm herself down, and then
do like a shift.
She quiets the sound of herself, which is now the viewer. We're seeing that she's dead, and so she can concentrate on trying to get through here. If they would have done that, it would have made perfect sense to me.
Or like when she had that head wound. Like having
the head wound,
a ringing, or like how they do in like war movies when like a mortar round goes off next to me, you hear that ringing or some kind of effect where, because the people in the crypts I get, they did hear some sound, but they're real deep down.
Yeah,
they're not going to hear a lot. But she was in like main corridors, and you couldn't hear anything going on outside. But that's minor. I guess my last thing leading up to the next episodes is why on earth is everyone so eager to go fight Cersei after what just happened?
Are they?
Yeah. You don't watch the trailers.
Oh,
but
asshole. You just ruined that for me. You
oh my
son
God.
of a
You know
bitch.
they're going to go fight.
Son of a bitch.
But Dany says something like,
Don't tell me what she fucking says.
motherfucker.
I don't watch the trailers.
This is a podcast.
I don't want to ruin for me.
We have to talk about the next episodes.
Then you wait till I go upstairs and you put it on at the end.
Let's just say people are hyped to go fight Cersei.
Okay.
Why on earth would they be so hyped after receiving such loss?
They're going to need 2 weeks of recoup before they can even think about going to fight
2
another
weeks? They just lost thousands of people. I think they need more than 2 weeks. I guess the only thing I can think of is they're going to go get Yara's navy and have the Iron Isles as allies. But even then, it's like, they just don't have the numbers.
No.
Why would you rush into another fight? I don't get it. That was been my problem the whole time. That's why I didn't think the Night King was going to be defeated here. I thought they were going to have to retreat because to me, strategically, why on earth would you go fight another war what would seem like an insurmountable odds type war after you just survived one?
It's because they're trying to get it done in 3 more episodes.
Okay.
If it was a 10 episode season, you're absolutely right. They would have been taken. They'd have one episode where they're all arguing amongst each other, where they should just take what they've done now and saved humanity and try to do it, and then have a bickering back and forth to, well, it's not really going to be happiness, even though we just defeated the Night King, because Cersei's still leading and we need to take her ass out because blah, 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 blah.
I know I don't want Dany to be sitting on that throne at the end.
No, at least it would leave you feeling uncomfortable when the series ends that she's going to still be a justful ruler.
Yeah.
There's something they're always leaving, which I like.
She's been too hungry for it.
Yeah.
I think you saying Gendry is funny to me. I don't think that's a possibility. I think your godly theories are not going to win out this time.
All right.
I mean, everything points to Jon.
Sure.
Everything.
Which makes me 100% believe that it's not going to be Jon. Only because of R.R. Martin. If it was any other writer, totally it's Jon at the end. It's all, but because he likes to stick it to you.
What if it ended up being Sansa and Tyrion?
I'd be all right with that, actually. I thought about that last night, or when I thought about it 2 nights ago, when he kissed her hand and they had their few moments together and how she said it would never work. Mm-hmm. But then I thought, there's no way this series ends that another Lannister is immediately put back on the throne. I don't see Martin writing it like that.
Well, the thing, and another point as to why I even bring them up as a possibility is they're both talked about for how smart they are.
Yeah.
And together, I mean, they should be a pretty good leading group.
Yeah, they can both beat the dual hand to Gendry and Arya as queen, the assassin queen.
The assassin queen that says, take your pants off. Where's Melisandre? She's going to light up that dick for me. I feel like this next episode is definitely going to be kind of a recoup, cool down episode, more story, no fighting.
No fighting. And then trying to figure out some sort of strategy for how the hell they're even going to be able to pull
and then
that off.
Episode 5 will be the next battle.
Yeah.
Because I think they got the same director even to do episode 5.
I did see that, yeah.
So we're gonna have a moment of calm.
Another exhausting battle.
And then some kind of wrap up.
Jaime being mortally wounded, Arya taking his face and killing Cersei in the last episode.
I think Jaime Prime is going to kill Cersei.
I would prefer that because it gives me some satisfaction for his character. Mm-hmm. But I would prefer that. But it would be cool also to see Arya do it.
Yeah.
Because Cersei's on our list.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's not really much to have theories about anymore. I think the whole Bran, Three-Eyed Raven thing is just like a red herring. There's not going to be any more with that.
Yeah.
I think Bran is just weirdo Bran now.
Brandon's just the encyclopedia.
Yeah. Like maybe he'll hang out with Sam in the end in the Citadel and like help him write books. I don't fucking know.
That whiny bitch. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it was a really good episode. Things didn't exactly turn out how I thought they would, but I'm okay with it. Not that they need my permission. You got anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
Well, then you know your fucking job.
I don't have a clever one today. I mean, I could say something like, winter came, then winter fell, just to show my godliness again.
No, that's dumb.
I got nothing. I don't. It's too early in the morning. You're making me record this early. So
You picked the time.
So until next time, thanks for letting us fuck your eardrums. Because we're bored in Ohio.
Does it have to be?
Yeah, we went right
Fuck
back to
'em?
fucking. Oh, yeah, what do you want me to say?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like.
Thanks for letting us come in your ear.
Oh.
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.